It sounds impossible, but even with all our cutting-edge tech and massive scientific wins, there are still places on Earth that leave experts dumbfounded. Some of these places are drop-dead gorgeous, but every single one is drenched in mystery. What's truly hiding behind their bizarre shapes and bone-deep strangeness? We're about to uncover 15 of the most mind-bending locations on the planet, spots that have scientists baffled and the rest of us staring in disbelief. Number 15. The Hill of Crosses. Roughly 11 kilometers from the city of Šiauliai in northern Lithuania is the Hill of Crosses. Well, it might look like just a grassy mound, but its story runs deep. Thousands of crosses, wooden, stone, metal, cover the hill. When wind moves through them, rosaries clink like soft chimes. Some say the hill marks the site of a church swallowed by a storm in one night. Others speak of ghostly monks seen at sunrise, their forms drifting like memories across the field. In 1990, a man named Šivikas counted 130 crosses. 2 years later, that number climbed to 155. After World War I, it dropped to 50, but by 1938, over 400 stood. In 1961, Soviet forces destroyed more than 5,000 crosses. By 1975, 1,200 had already reappeared. After Lithuania regained independence, the number exploded. 14,000 tall crosses and countless smaller ones. Visitors still plant new ones every day for hope and healing, maybe just because the hill won't stop calling. Number 14. Caño Cristales. If you want to see heaven on this holy earth, this is it. Caño Cristales runs through Colombia's Serranía de la Macarena like a living painting. Locals call it the River of Five Colors, and for a few months each year it earns the name. From July to October, the river turns vibrant red, yellow, green, blue, and black thanks to Macarenia clavigera, a rare plant that thrives only in this exact environment. But the bloom isn't guaranteed. If the water's too high, light can't reach the plants. If it's too low, they dry up. It's a razor-thin balance of rain, sun, and nutrients. Scientists say it's all about seasonal timing and soil chemistry, but the full picture's still missing. Some colors seem to pulse or shift during the day, depending on cloud cover and light angles. Beyond the riverbed, the region is packed with wildlife, rare frogs, insects, and fish found nowhere else. Number 13. The Barak Kelmes Plateau. On Kazakhstan's Barak Kelmes Plateau, what used to be an island in the Aral Sea, something feels totally off. Locals call it the land of no return, and they mean it. After the sea dried up in the 70s, this cracked stretch of land showed up, and so did strange stories. Hikers claim watches stop or jump ahead by days. Lights float in the dusk, too steady to be lanterns, too bright to be bugs. One group woke up blue-skinned after a night under the stars. Scientists point to minerals or algae, but that doesn't explain everything. Fresh graves appear overnight, and there are no people or tools, just soil that's been moved. Some say it was used for secret Soviet experiments. Radiation levels randomly spike. Brave reporters have gone in with Geiger counters. Many came back rattled. Others didn't come back at all. The place doesn't just feel abandoned. It feels like it's watching. Even scientists don't argue with its nickname anymore. Number 12. Fingal's Cave. Off Scotland's west coast on the uninhabited island of Staffa, waves crash into a cave made of stone columns so precise they don't look natural. This is Fingal's Cave, a volcanic formation where basalt cooled into near-perfect hexagonal pillars. The sound inside is something else entirely. When waves roll in, the curved walls amplify them into deep, booming echoes that ring like music. Some say it's where giants walked. Irish folklore claims Fingal built a path between Scotland and Ireland using these same stepping stones. Geologists say it's cooled lava from around 60 million years ago, but they still don't fully understand why some areas formed perfect columns while others fractured. Even with modern modeling, recreating these patterns isn't easy. Queen Victoria once visited. Composer Mendelssohn turned it into music. Boats still drift near the mouth as the sea sings through stone. No matter how many scans or studies happen, it's a mystery. Number 11. The Barabar Caves. Hidden in the hills of Bihar are the Barabar Caves. These ancient chambers were carved into granite over 2,200 years ago. From the outside, they seem like simple stone openings, but inside, the walls are polished to a mirror-like shine and reflect sound in strange, almost unnatural ways. If you speak a word, it bounces perfectly around the room. Some researchers believe these caves were built with sound in mind, likely for meditation or spiritual ceremonies. These caves were constructed during the reign of Emperor Ashoka and gifted to a mysterious group called the Ajivikas, a now extinct religious sect with cryptic beliefs. But we still don't know what the caves were used for. There are just inscriptions in Brahmi script, and even those raise more questions than answers. How did 3rd century BCE craftsmen polish solid granite this flawlessly? And why put in that kind of effort? Well, scientists are still searching for the answers. Number 10. The Pyramid of Quiquilco. In the middle of chaotic Mexico City, right beside traffic and taco stands, sits a round pyramid that barely anyone talks about. Quiquilco looks less like a sacred site and more like a UFO landing pad, but it might be one of the oldest pyramids in the Americas, built around 1200 BCE. Who built it is still unknown. Archaeologists believe the builders were agricultural people with deep spiritual beliefs. They may have worshipped the old god of fire. Ironically, fire ended their civilization. Around 200 CE, the nearby Zedel volcano erupted and buried everything under lava. The entire city vanished overnight. Quiquilco was forgotten until excavation began in the 20th century. Today, it stands half swallowed by nature, fenced by highways and buildings. Hikers pass it. Locals walk their dogs around it. But no one truly knows what lies underneath. Beneath the hardened lava, something else might still be waiting. A story that's never been told. Number 9. Staten Island Farm Colony. The Staten Island Farm Colony has been abandoned for so long, it barely looks man-made anymore. Nature has wrapped it in vines and trees so thick you can't even see the buildings for most of the year. Between November and May, the brush thins just enough to catch a glimpse of decaying walls. The site was originally built in 1898 as a self-sustaining community for the poor and unwanted. Residents grew food to support themselves. By the 1950s, it had become a rest home for the elderly. The farm shut down, and the buildings followed. Below the surface, a web of forgotten tunnel snakes beneath the ruins. No one's sure why they were built, and they're not listed on any official records. Some say something darker went on down there. Now, the only voices in the colony are the wind through broken windows and the weight of years that never left. Number 8. Nikumaroro Island. In 1937, Amelia Earhart vanished while attempting to fly around the world. Her final radio message said she was low on fuel and couldn't find Howland Island. Then, nothing. One theory points to Nikumaroro, formerly Gardner Island, a remote atoll in the Central Pacific. Uninhabited and isolated, the island may have been Earhart's final landing spot. Bones believed to belong to a female of European descent were found here in 1940, but they were lost before modern testing could confirm anything. Later searches uncovered a jar matching Earhart's brand of skin cream and an acrylic panel similar to those used in her aircraft. Still, no wreckage has ever been found. Was she stranded here, surviving for days or months before succumbing to the elements? Or is it another dead end in a case built on shadows? Nikumaroro offers no answers, only fragments. The ocean may never give back what it took, but the silence here still feels personal. Number 7. Kuroshio Inn. The Kuroshio Inn is one of Japan's most infamous abandoned sites, but reaching it takes effort. First, you have to travel to a remote island in Shikoku. Then you hike up a hill, possibly dodging wild boars and deer. But when you reach the top, the payoff is undeniable. No one knows when the hotel was abandoned, but judging by the bright turquoise chairs, velvet carpets, and dated chandeliers, it likely hasn't hosted guests since the 1970s. Most of the building is stripped bare, rooms emptied, walls crumbling. But the bar area still feels strangely alive. The view of the ocean through dust-covered windows is breathtaking. Sitting in one of the faded lounge chairs, you can almost hear the hum of conversation from a half-century ago. No one's around to clean, restore, or explain what happened. Yet the silence speaks louder than any guide ever could. Number 6. Marfa Lights. For over a century, glowing orbs have danced across the desert skies just outside the tiny town of Marfa, Texas. These lights, bright, colorful, and strangely alive, appear randomly in the night, drifting or darting in ways that don't match any known explanation. Cowboys once watched them in silence. Actor James Dean reportedly saw them while filming Giant. Ghost stories, UFO sightings, and wild theories followed. Are they atmospheric reflections or piezoelectric energy? No one figured it out. And the mystery only adds to their legend. Locals don't chase answers. They celebrate them. Every year, the town throws the Marfa Lights Festival, drawing travelers, artists, and skeptics alike to witness something that science still hasn't nailed down. Some say the lights flicker brighter when no one's watching. Others claim they vanish the moment a camera appears. Whatever they are, they've become part of Marfa's identity. Number 5. Colosso dell'Apennino. Not far from Florence, this thing rises out of the ground like a forgotten god. Built in the late 1500s by Giambologna, this stone giant isn't just a statue. It's an engineered marvel. If you go inside, you'll find hidden rooms, tunnels, and old hydraulics that once made it breathe, sweat, and exhale smoke. Rainwater flowed through pipes that dripped from its beard. Vents in the nose made steam hiss. Slits in the eyes and ears once let people spy or listen to sounds below. In its hand, the giant clutches a sea creature with a mouth that spills water into a pool. There are no surviving plans for how it was built. Historians still argue over how the tunnels were shaped with such accuracy. Some passages are just big enough for one person to crawl through. Others lead to balconies with views over Tuscany. 6 centuries later, the giant still holds its secrets. Number 4. The Zone of Silence. Most deserts are dry and quiet. Mexico's Zone of Silence takes it further. It shuts everything down. Radios crackle, compasses spin, phones give up. Located in Durango's Chihuahuan Desert, this 1,500 square mile stretch looks ordinary, just rock, sand, and sky. But its reputation says otherwise. In the 1970s, a U.S. missile test veered hundreds of miles off course and landed here. When scientists arrived, their communication gear wouldn't work. Since then, locals and visitors have reported strange lights, sudden weather shifts, and figures in white robes walking the sand. Some researchers think magnetic minerals or ancient meteorites are behind the signal disruption. Others blame solar radiation. And then there are those who claim alien interference. Nobody's proven anything. But scientists keep showing up, trying to measure what can't be pinned down. Whatever's going on, the Zone of Silence doesn't play by the rules. Number 3. Skellig Michael. Off Ireland's southwest coast, Skellig Michael juts out of the Atlantic like a massive green dagger. Long before it was a film set for Star Wars, it was something much more extreme. In the 6th century, monks sailed to this rock, deciding regular isolation wasn't isolated enough. Once there, they carved beehive-shaped stone huts into the steep cliffs. No mortar, no safety rails, no comfort. These dwellings still stand, stacked into impossible terraces. No docks, no fresh water, just seabirds, sharp winds, and stone steps worn by time. The monks built it all by hand, surviving storms and starvation in search of divine closeness. Today, Skellig Michael is a UNESCO site. Its history and raw beauty draw visitors, but it's not easy to reach, and no one really knows why this island was chosen. Maybe that was the point. What do you think of it? Number 2. Pine Gap. Sitting in Australia's Red Centre, Pine Gap is officially a joint defense facility. Unofficially, it's one of the most secretive and controversial sites in the country. Built in 1967 during the Cold War, the base was presented to the public as a space research center. In reality, it's a high-security satellite surveillance facility run by both the US and Australian governments. Is it a true mission? Intelligence gathering and military coordination, especially across Asia and the Middle East. No journalists allowed, no public tours, and because of that wall of silence, Pine Gap has become a magnet for conspiracy theories. UFO sightings have been reported around the area for decades. Locals speak of strange aircraft and eerie lights hovering in the night. The government says nothing. The mystery only grows. Pine Gap is still operational today, buried in the outback, shrouded in secrecy, and surrounded by questions that aren't likely to be answered anytime soon. Number 1. Lake Maracaibo. Lake Maracaibo sits between Venezuela's Andes foothills and the Caribbean coast, and it stretches wide across the northwest. By day, it's very calm. Fishing boats drift, birds skim the surface. But once the sun drops, the air shifts. For up to 260 nights a year, the sky above explodes with lightning that can last 10 hours without pause. Known as Catatumbo lightning, this storm is so intense it's visible from space, and pilots actively reroute to avoid it. Scientists blame the mix of warm lake waters, cool mountain air, and the tight wind corridor created by the Catatumbo River Valley. But no model explains why it fires in the same spot or peaks right before dawn. Some suggest swamp gases add fuel, others tie it to distant pressure systems. Still, none of it fully adds up. Local fishermen say spirits guard the lake, while science keeps studying it. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon.